All right, so welcome to my Politics of Protest project. And I decided to do my project on Woodstock, the music festival that took place in New York on a weekend in August 1969. And there were about 300 to 500,000 attendants there, if I remember correctly. And basically, it was just a giant protest because the Vietnam War was going on during the time, and people decided, having a giant group of people, inviting a bunch of bands and artists to play music for an entire weekend would be a good way to do that. And basically, it just ended up being a very peaceful experience. There was a lot of drug use there, a lot of just interesting people there that were just expressing themselves and didn't care what anyone thinks, and that's why it's anti-establishment. And yeah, so they just wanted to protest the politics that were happening in recent years, and I chose it because I love music and I'm always listening to it, and Woodstock seemed like the most interesting topic, and it seemed like the topic I would have most fun making a project on and researching, and just it would just be fun, I thought. So yeah. And the question I came up with is, how does the Woodstock Musical Festival compare to and motivate anti-established movements of today? So basically what I mean by that is, what effect did Woodstock have on some anti-establishment movements that you can see today? Because obviously Woodstock isn't today. Woodstock was like 50 or so years ago. But my question serves the purpose to show that it has lasting effects. So for the research portion of my project, I mostly just looked for credible articles that could just tell me some facts, like just skipping all the BS, just tell me what happened, and I can choose how to comprehend it and how to use it in my question. And of course, I formed my question before I looked at any of these articles because I knew it would be valid, but I just looked up some facts to make sure it would be true, and they're true. And I also got some articles from first-hand accounts of people talking about and analyzing it, like from what they saw, and they were all saying just how much of a mystical, interesting experience it was, once in a lifetime. Like, it was just a good time, basically, and it was just a lot of nostalgia and reminiscing from the people. And the artists themselves have come out and said afterwards that it was just absolutely insane. It was nothing like anything else I've ever experienced, and it was definitely a positive event, because if it wasn't, it would probably be deadly and terrible, but there were only 2 people who died at it, so that's just a miracle. So now I'm just gonna like overview like the elements of my poster, why I wrote down what I did, and read what I wrote, just the main points that I'm trying to prove. And yeah, so that's what I'm about to do. So I didn't steal this poster. I took elements. I borrowed elements from like 5 different posters. This is original. It's creative. So yeah, I just found these pictures, so I drew them. Just very interesting pictures. A peace sign. August, whatever. This one says turn on, tune in, drop out, because that's like one of the sayings that they had back then. And this one says make love, not war. Another point, it's like they just wanted to be peaceful. They wanted to have lots of love. They just didn't want war because the Vietnam War sucks. They were against it, anti-establishment. That's what it was all about. All right, so basically, I already read my question, but the answer is Woodstock compares to and motivates modern anti-establishment movements by being analogous to BLM movements, pride movements, and women's rights movements. Those are the 3 I decided to compare it to. I probably could have chosen different ones, but these are like the most popular ones, most famous, most recognizable, probably the easiest. All right, so overview of the Black Lives Matter. Black history is full of protests that caused something to change. This nature of action was present at Woodstock. Therefore, BLM movements and Woodstock are similar due to the act of invoking change. They also share acts of unity, people coming together to help make a change. All right, Pride movement. The expression of hippie culture, drug culture, and sexual freedom at Woodstock significantly impacted the Pride movement. A main principle of Woodstock and the Pride movement is unapologetically define social norms. Women's rights. Woodstock made people realize they could change history with their words and beliefs. The same thing women's rights movements have done for decades. Woodstock proved if enough people believed in a change, it could eventually happen, and that's how women have and are making their change in society. All right. Okay, so for my last section, so what? Why is this important? Well, it's obviously important because these are modern topics. These things are happening right now. These things have been happening in recent years. So it's important to realize that events like Woodstock make a huge change in society for years to come. So, like, we create history. Like, our actions have consequences or the outcomes. It doesn't have to be like a negative thing, like just outcomes in general. So yeah, like we can make history by just with our actions for years to come. That's the so what. That's why it's important. So yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. This was so fun. I would do this 10 times over. Making that poster was so fun in the middle of the night. I hate sleeping anyway. Thank you for watching.